Okay, let's just jump right into this explainer. Today we're transforming a raw 50-minute live stream Q&A into a highly structured playbook for completely optimizing your health, your location, and your mindset. We are basically taking the first-hand experiences of an expat named Justin, a guy who spent decades exploring Eastern Europe, and we're distilling his personal journey into a clear, actionable guide for lifestyle design. To make sense of all this, we're going to walk through 4 key pillars of his lifestyle design. First up, physical rejuvenation. Second, the expat haven. Third, the ultimate flight seat hack. And finally, mindset and connection. Let's get to it. Section 1, physical rejuvenation, anti-aging and health. So before even touching his external environment, Justin's journey actually began with some serious internal changes. To kick things off, he reports having a staggering 25 million stem cells and 200 billion exosomes injected directly into his face. Yeah, you heard that right. He admits the procedure was super painful, but just a month later he reported very noticeable skin tightness. The goal here, as he points out, isn't necessarily to magically look 15 years younger. It's really about establishing a baseline today and then finding a way to proactively prolong that state and slow down the aging process altogether. But honestly, those anti-aging injections, they're just the tip of the iceberg. He also highlights a massive 40-kilo weight loss over an 8-year period. I mean, he describes it as basically taking an entire other human being off his shoulders. This massive transformation was fueled in part by intermittent fasting, eating just one meal a day and sticking to low-carb diets. He notes that embracing this kind of fasting actually taps into our ancient hunting instincts. Think about it. When you're hungry, you're naturally more alert, right? Well, he uses that exact biological edge to maintain incredibly sharp focus for his daily work. And this next point really highlights that internal shift. He attributes the total elimination of unexplained morning anxiety and a dramatic boost in his overall optimism to starting testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT. He talked about waking up for years with this heavy, unexplainable angst, even though his blood work was totally normal. But after starting the therapy, his energy levels are absolutely through the roof, the anxiety is 100% gone, and honestly, his only regret is that he waited so long to actually start the treatment. Now, real quick, it's absolutely crucial for us to state that these experimental therapies reflect his own personal journey and choices. This is absolutely not medical advice. What might be considered a totally experimental procedure in one country could be standard practice in another. He heavily emphasizes how important it is to do your own research and, of course, play by the rules of whatever jurisdiction you happen to be in. Section 2, the expat haven, relocating for value. All right, so with his internal energy completely revitalized, the very next step was finding the perfect external environment. For a long time, Justin used Riga, Latvia as his home base, but he contrasts the soaring cost of living he recently dealt with there. I mean, his monthly utility bills skyrocketed from 250 to 650 euros, which is wild, with the incredible affordability of Tbilisi, Georgia. In Georgia, he didn't just find massive financial value. He found a rich history where you can literally stumble into 800-year-old churches, and an ancient culture that was making wine long before the French even knew what it was. Plus, he noted the deep passion of Georgian medical professionals. They work in the private sector for a fraction of Western prices, but they're driven by a genuine love for what they do rather than just chasing a massive paycheck. And this combo of factors is exactly why Georgia is absolutely exploding as a hub for digital nomads right now. Just look at the visa terms. Instead of playing that stressful 90-day visa shuffle required in most of Europe, Georgia offers a uniquely generous 1-year visa for a lot of nationalities. And get this, it legally resets just by crossing the border and coming right back. But the real game changer? The tax system. If you register as self-employed in certain industries, you pay an astonishing 1% tax rate on income up to roughly 160,000 euros. It is literally a logistical and financial goldmine for anyone working location independently. On top of all that, he reports a really stark contrast when it comes to daily safety. He actually describes a recent trip to a high-end neighborhood in London where he found himself tensely clutching his phone, just terrified a thief on a bike was going to snatch it right out of his hand. Contrast that with his day-to-day in Tbilisi, where he feels completely at ease, leaving his bag, his phone, all his valuables totally unattended at a cafe table if he needs to step away. That kind of ambient mental peace, that is a massive hidden benefit of optimizing your location. You aren't just saving money, you're buying peace of mind. Section 3, the ultimate flight seat hack, mastering logistics. Okay, if you're going to be traveling around to all these optimized locations, you need a bulletproof system. Here is exactly how you secure the absolute best seats on budget airlines like EasyJet or Ryanair without paying a dime extra. Pay attention to this. A few hours before your flight, start your real check-in process and look at the seat map. Take note of all those terrible middle seats or back row spots you definitely want to avoid. Then, grab a second device and make a fake dummy booking for a large group of adults and kids. Go through the booking process and intentionally select all of those terrible seats for your fake group. Stop right before the payment screen. Because those bad seats are now temporarily locked out by the airline system, you immediately jump back to your real booking, complete your check-in, and the system is literally forced to assign you one of the remaining premium seats. I mean, it is a brilliant execution of travel logistics.
Section 4. Mindset and Connection. The Real World.
So, now that you've got your health dialed in and your location sorted, how do you actually interact with the world around you? Addressing a really fascinating viewer question about whether we walk through life as passengers or tourists, Justin philosophizes that it's all about context. You are a passenger while you're executing your plan, keeping your head down, doing the gritty work to reach your goals, but you instantly become a tourist with open eyes and true appreciation once you actually arrive at your destination. You have to know exactly when to switch between those two mindsets. And when it comes to connecting with other people, he emphasizes that modern dating apps are, for the most part, a total illusion. So many guys just sit behind screens matching with profiles, genuinely believing they're being social, when in reality, their ability to communicate in person is completely atrophying. He argues that in a world that is increasingly dominated by digital screens and AI, cultivating genuine real-world charisma, confidence, and just the ability to hold a captivating conversation, that gives you a massive, disproportionate advantage out there. So pulling all of this together, Justin is officially pivoting his platform. After 30 years of successfully navigating Eastern Europe, building a business, and escaping the standard norm, he's transitioning to help other people design this exact lifestyle. He sees his role not just as a standard life coach, but as an accountability coach, someone who works directly with you to build a concrete strategy for escaping the heavy taxation and the stress of the West, and then actually holds your feet to the fire to execute it. Which brings us to the ultimate question. We've looked at extreme physical optimization, leveraging global tax laws, incredibly clever travel hacks, and breaking out of the digital illusion. We want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to inspire your own journey. If you could tear down your current constraints right now and entirely redesign your life, from your morning health routine all the way to your global home base, where exactly would you start? Think about it. We will catch you in the next explainer.